Welcome to my third video of YouTube. So today I just wanted to share my vegan story. So first what I'm going to talk about is my lifestyle / diet. So in high school I pretty much ate the typical American diet. I didn't really eat out too much because my dad was a chef. So I did eat well, he did cook what I considered to be healthy at the time. Chicken, steak, steamed vegetables, things like that. So I would say it was primarily healthier than most families' cases because we did eat at home. We rarely went out for dinner, things like that. So I did, to my standards and American standards and ideas of the time, did eat healthier compared to most people. Now my lifestyle, I was pretty much always into athletics. I played baseball growing up, did some football, had fun with basketball, all that. But I wouldn't have considered myself in shape. I was always still like a natural athlete. So whenever I got into a sport or jumped into it, I always got really good at it. And I'm just gonna say it, like I've always been a natural athlete, but it doesn't mean I was always look like how I did today, I was just a natural athlete. I picked up on the idea of whatever sport it was pretty quick and developed. So that was pretty much growing up. I played baseball, like I said. That was my main sport and focus. I enjoyed it, loved it. Things changed though. After graduating, which I will show a picture of how I looked in high school coming up later on. So as you can see, this is my senior year. I played catcher for our baseball team. This isn't even the worst to come. I had the chipmunk cheeks. I looked soft, not very athletic, but like I said, I was still a natural athlete and developed in pretty much every sport I played. So senior year, high school, graduating 2010. I worked at my parents' catering company, and so I was around food a lot, and I was the manager at the time of the transportation of doing deliveries, things like that. And like I said, I was around food a lot. I would, my office was right next to where the baker was, so she had a little plate of like the scraps that she wasn't going to use for the people, and every time walking past, I just pick up a little thing and eat it, and that was just kind of a habit, I guess. It's not even like I was hungry. It was just a habit that formed because I'd go into the office and pass and grab a brownie, cookie, whatever it was, and just tons of high-fat desserts. And I mean, they definitely were good and all that, but it doesn't mean it was healthy, and it was just extra calories I didn't need and extra fat and all kinds of just junk that was not good for the body. So and then I was in a relationship at the time where things did head south. That didn't end up working out, but there was a lot of junk involved, and at that time I would definitely say is when I was the worst shape of my life. At this point, I think it was about 2011, I was done with baseball, not really into any fitness at the time, and then decided I wanted to take my health and fitness in my own hands. Here it is, the worst of all that I think I ever looked. Got the chub, the softness, still got those chipmunk cheeks. Not happy here at all. Spent the next year and a half focused on weight training, and then there was some cardio in there, but like I said, weights was primarily what I was doing, and some other cardiovascular fitness. This was embarrassing. I was not happy. Before that, I did get into doing weights and things like that, and I was still running, but I wasn't primarily a runner like I am now. I did more weight training, but not like trying to get big or anything. I was never like trying to be a bodybuilder or anything. It was more like calisthenics, things like that. free weights. And I did develop, and I did get some muscle development and got pretty toned and all that. At this point, this is after where I was focused on trying to find my fitness again and my journey towards becoming healthy. So I was still eating a standard American diet, but I was actually exercising and working out, so cardio and like primarily still weights. Even though I looked better, I still didn't feel the best I know I could, because I was still clogged up from dairy. Whenever I had meat, my stomach always killed me. So results were coming, but not where I wanted to be, and not thriving like I knew I could. Relationship. And being in that, I ended up just becoming soft, and I would say gooey, and was in the worst shape of my life. And after that, that's when I was not happy with how I was looking and things like that. So I was talking to one of my best friends at the time, who was actually raw vegan for about 2 years. And he challenged me. He's like, "Hey Sean, I challenge you to just try vegan for a week or two." And I'm like thinking, I don't know. But then I decided, you know what? I'll take the chance and see how I feel and see how it works. So I jumped into it, and that's when I wanted to get back into my athletics and all that. So I tried vegan for a week, and I was just feeling really good. Like, my body was starting to thrive again. My acne that I had before was going down. I was just feeling a lot more energy in that week compared to how I did before. I didn't have any anxiety, things like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stick with this longer. In my vegan story video, I said this was when I was in the worst shape of my life. Obviously, it wasn't. There was that previous couple pictures ago that you saw, pretty much when I wasn't doing anything. That was the worst, but here again, I wasn't happy. This was after I broke up with my ex, left the catering job, and wanted to find my fitness journey again. So my friend challenged me to go vegan, and this is what I started from. And about a year and a half later, the results started coming. Longer. The hardest part for me was, what you got to do, and most people suffer from, is you got to eat the calories. That was a big lesson that I had to learn. You know, I was getting plenty of calories from the standard American diet, because meat and all that fat and dense food is higher in calories, but doesn't mean they're healthy calories. I don't believe a calorie from a piece of steak or cheese is the same kind of calorie as a banana. You know, I'm one for now ingredients. It needs to be whole foods, so one ingredient, banana, potato, things like that. Not all these weird things you can't name. So, but yeah, that was the hard part, was trying to deal with the calorie solution. But so I jumped in, did that, and once I started upping my calories, eating as much plant foods as I wanted, I started doing Raw Till 4, and I've been doing that now for about 7.5 years, just over. And I am thriving. I love it. I love being able to eat as much as I want. So I'm eating a high fruit diet. I mean, I'm eating 20 bananas for a meal. I eat 20 mangoes. Whatever fruit is in season, I'm pretty much eating it. And I love it. I have a sweet tooth. So before going vegan, I'd always go to this place called Paradise Bakery. And for the weekends, when I was a gamer at the time, I would buy 2 dozen cookies, literally every weekend. And Friday, Saturday night, sit down, play my games, have 6 to 8 cookies every night. Ended up dipping them in milk, so causing more fat and all that, and that's what made me just balloon up. I mean, I was very soft, and like I said, I would say gooey, and not happy with how I looked. But anyway, back to that so now I do the Raw Till 4 vegan lifestyle, eating raw during the day, cooked food at night, high carb, low fat. So high carbs, very low fat. I get a lot of my fat from avocado. I don't really eat nuts and seeds. I'm not a big fan of them, and I don't find they digest well for me. I stay away from oils. I realize when I go out that most places are going to use them, so I don't fret about that. First 2-3 years, I was definitely very strict in what I did, and within that first year, I think I was around 185, 190 pounds, and I stuck to my guns. Like, I wouldn't go out. I only cooked for myself. Yeah, I mean, even coming to my parents' house, I'm like, I'm having white rice, that's it. I was very high carb. I mean, I didn't even eat avocado or any fats probably until my 3rd year, 4th year of being vegan. I was just very set on, like, I was scared of having tomatoes and things like that. I'm like, think it back, that's like stupid. And I think why I really thrive on Raw Till 4 now is because, like I said, I love having sweets. I have a big sweet tooth, but now I've incorporated, beans, fats. I'm not scared of avocado. I love it. I love rice bowls. That's my go-to dinner. Rice bowls or burritos. I just enjoy them so much. I probably eat those 3 or 4 nights out of the week. So yeah, I've been Raw Till 4, high carb, low fat vegan over 7.5 years now, and within that first year of really sticking to my guns, working out, exercise is a big thing for everything. You can't just think that you can eat, a standard American diet or whatever kind of diet and just look fit. You need to exercise. You got to move the body. I'm not saying you have to be running 60-mile weeks and 100-mile rides and things I do. Like, fitness is just a lifestyle. Like I said, I've always been a natural athlete. I just didn't have the fit look when I was probably around 7th grade all the way to sophomore year. I was more, like I said, soft. So, but I've always was a natural athlete. My skills always developed. So after I graduated, I'm like, I want to get fit. So I focused on weights and all that. But diet really, vegan saved me and got me to where I am today. And I can't thank my friend enough for helping me find this lifestyle. So that is the part of the diet that made me thrive. And high carb, low fat, vegan, fruit primarily, raw during the day, not scared of carbs, and I just enjoy it. Now, I'm a 2:55 marathoner. I can go out. I did it right before the end of May. I was like, I'm gonna go for a 100-mile ride. It was really nice here that day in Phoenix before it was getting hot. It was 75, I think, as the high. And I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just go do my 100-mile ride. And I usually try to do it like once a year now. And not many people can just go out and be like, hey, I'm gonna do this. And I went out, did it in 6 hours, and not even pushing or anything. I love having that mentality that I'm fit and can just go do what I want. Like, fitness now is my lifestyle. I love going to the trails, training, being with friends that have a lifestyle and health style like mine. This is my life. Fitness, sports. That's why I became a PE teacher, because I wanted to teach the youth on just moving your body, and not even going hard can lead to getting results. You start as, just a mediocre athlete, but if you put in the work, you will always get better, and then you will find happiness in what you're doing, from either just getting better at the sport or to wanting to look good. So, I mean, when I show you some of these pictures at the end here, you'll see why I definitely don't want to go back to where I am, and why I stick to what I do. Just, it's a big passion of mine now, and I enjoy it so much. Here at this time, I was just over a year and a couple months of being high carb, low fat, raw till 4 vegan. So eating fruit as much as I wanted during the day, being raw, and then cooked starches at night, pasta, potatoes, a lot of white rice. Wasn't eating a lot of protein or fats, pretty much zero actually. Not going out, and was making my own meals. So my social life wasn't there. Topic for another video. But this is where I fell in love with how I was feeling, found that I enjoyed cardio, so became a runner and cyclist, and have stuck with it ever since. And that is how I looked. I was still kind of doing weights at this time, maybe once, twice a week, probably twice a week, not much, and nothing like too intense. But this was me at a year, maybe just under a year and a half, lost 20 pounds, but was feeling great, thriving, and enjoying life, and knew that at this time, this lifestyle, health style, whatever you want to call it, raw till 4, high carb, low fat vegan was for me. Here I am over 7.5 years later, still on a high carb, low fat, raw till 4 vegan diet, thriving, feeling the best I ever have. I contribute that to adding more fats into my diet, some more protein, beans, avocado, having more variety. Before, I went through that phase where I needed to do that, but in order for me to thrive and stick with this long term, you need to have more variety and feel satiated by adding in this other stuff. Now, I do look different in this picture. This is over 7.5 years. Before I was doing more weights. Here now I am just getting back into weights. I think it's been about 4 months, but I was doing more cardio, which for the past 4 years is all I focused on, and I really got my cardiovascular fitness way up, hence being a marathoner, cyclist, and all that. And sometimes doing all that, you lose muscle definition. So that's what I've been working on now, incorporating it all in order to become a better athlete altogether. Once again, this was my experience. This is what I've learned over the past almost 8 years now. If you did watch this all the way through, thanks. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.